Do you know the difference between a psychiatrist and psychologist?
One can prescribe drugs or something.
Yes. Psychiatrist prescribes drugs.
Right.
I actually have both, a psychologist and a psychiatrist, because it's part of the program. Like I have to have both.
Do
I
you
have to
talk
like
to them
constantly.
about the same problems, or is it
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things?
Yeah, because it's different people and like different opinions. And I've had multiple psychologists before, and it took a while to find a good one that I enjoyed. Like the first one that I had off rip, I loved, but it was getting too personal. And she was a family friend, so she knew too much about me and my mom.
I remember
So I
you
didn't feel
talking about this.
comfortable. Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable really getting in depth with a lot of things. So I found one. I tried like four more after that, and then finally I found one that I really enjoy.
Damn, you tried four more after that.
Yeah.
Why did they suck?
Yeah, I just didn't feel the connection. And like off the first meeting that I had with the current one that I have right now, like I automatically already had a connection with her. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah, this is gonna work. You feel it, bro. You definitely feel it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you feel like that with anybody you talk to, if you like have a
Yeah.
connection or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's important to talk about these things, especially, and I've said this before,
These things
as
meaning
men.
what? Trauma?
Just trauma, just things that, why do you think you act a certain way? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Because everything that we do goes back to an experience that we had. Everything. Even like, because one of the main things that I never wanted to be like is like my father, because I always had a certain viewpoint on my own father, because he was never really present in my life. So I always wanted to never be like him. But the older I got, the more I thought like him and in certain aspects. And I'm like, why is that? At the end of the day, I have his DNA. Like we have fucking, I'm his son. So I'm going to think in similar ways, even though I'm not with him. I'm still going to have certain mannerisms and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got the same DNA.
Yeah. So it was just important, I guess, talking about certain things that I've been through with him and how that made me be a certain way. There are certain things that somebody could do to you that will make you act in a positive way, or it could be in a self deprecating way where you are hurting yourself, or you, not necessarily like a physical way, but you're hurting yourself emotionally, or some type of, like you're mentally beating yourself up,
Yeah.
without realizing it, or you're being like super tough on yourself, or whatever the case may be. That's one of the things that I get from my father. I'm super tough on myself because he was always tough on me. He was always like, you got to be this type of person. You got to be a doctor, a lawyer. That's all I heard growing up. It's like doctor, lawyer, or you're not, you're nobody.
So do you feel
And he's
like you
not
need
even a
a
doctor or lawyer.
right? But he's rich, so can no one tell him shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But like, do you feel like you kind of need to prove him wrong? Is that why you're
Yes.
hard on yourself?
Yes. And it's like that, my psychologist made me realize that. It's like, what do you need to prove to this person? And I'm like, I mean, really, like, I don't want to prove anything, but at the same time, like, I want to show him that even though he grew up with his other kids, I'm the fucking one that became the most successful. And it's like egotistical of me at that point. That's where I'm hurting myself without even realizing. Where it's
Right.
like I'm doing all these things to prove to somebody that doesn't necessarily even matter,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Because I mean, subconsciously, you want him to feel like I didn't need you for me to become
Right.
successful in a way.
Right.
Or it was better off that you didn't raise me because the people you did raise aren't as successful as me.
Yeah, or just like a proving him wrong in the sense of like everything that you told me, no, that's not true. Like I don't have to do this or that to get to this goal. I could do it my own way, and I've done it my own way.
Yeah, but I feel like that could be also a good thing. Like you were saying, it could either be a good thing or like something that brings you down, right? But in the same at the same time, it's like it's driving you. Because if you
Right.
didn't have that, you'd probably be like way more laid back and not really give a fuck about succeeding or not.
Right.
So I think it's a good thing, even if it does bring trauma.
No, I mean, like I said, it could all be, it's all perspective, bro. Like certain things you could look at it and be like, okay, that's a good thing. But at the same time, like getting deep into that system, it's like, all right, you're doing all this to prove to somebody that you don't necessarily care about wrong. Why? Why don't you, instead of using that energy, that almost like that hatred energy, that negative energy,
Mm.
why don't you transform into a positive and continue being continue to progress? So it's,
But that's what I'm saying. Like the only reason you're progressing is because you got that anger in you.
yeah, I get it, but you don't need that. Like you don't need to have that anger to progress. And it's realizing that and letting go of that. That's
Yeah,
where
but
the
you also
healing
gotta
comes
know
in.
that if it wasn't for that, you might be way too laid back and not give a fuck about succeeding in life. You
No,
know,
sure, I
because you
agree
have to
with
be
you.
self-aware when it comes to that. You got to know what drives you and what doesn't. And maybe you, in your case, is having that anger, because if you didn't, maybe you wouldn't be as driven. Maybe
Right.
you would, who knows? But I'm just saying, like, I do think that those emotions are there for a reason sometimes.
No, for sure. For sure. And they create your personality,
Yeah.
because this drive per se, in my case, didn't just start a couple of years ago. It started years ago, decades ago,
Yeah.
you know?
I do have that drive as well, where I have to, like, prove to people. Like whenever I am like working on an assignment or anything, like we're just, trying to succeed in life in general. I feel like I do have like some people that I do want to prove wrong as well. You know, I remember one time, um, before I even started like this whole filmmaking or content creation career, like my mom just told me that I would just be broke for the rest of my life, and that shit stuck with me, because I didn't go to college. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this as a force to make me, accomplish things.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. Like there's so many little examples from like things that I've heard from people that definitely drives me to like at least prove them wrong. As bad as that sounds, I think it's good. I think it's good because it's a life force that can definitely alter your reality.
Yeah. It's like a fire that you built. I
Yeah.
remember, I don't know if you watched the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan documentary.
No, I didn't.
So it was really interesting because you got a little bit more into the mindset of Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And there was a lot of times where he made up scenarios in his head to light a fire under his ass to be more productive, to fucking be a better player. Like there was this one player that he said something to him or like made some type of gesture,
Mm-hmm.
and then during the documentary he told the truth. He said, "Yeah, the player never did that. I just made that up to light a fire under my ass."
See, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy that he said that because I feel like I've done that before. I don't remember a specific time, but I feel like I've done that before. Where I just created a scenario in my head that didn't even exist just to motivate myself.
Right.
Wow, I can't believe that's a thing that people do, including myself. That's nuts. It's pretty psychotic if you think about it.
Yeah.
But it is a good reason to drive people.
Yeah.